Hey YouTube, Leo here with another reaction video, and today we're going to be reacting to Death Battle's newest video, Ichigo versus Yusuke Urameshi. So really interested in this one. I grew up with Yu Yu Hakusho as one of the first anime I watched, and Bleach is definitely in my top anime list. So it's going to be interesting to see this. I'm a little biased towards Yusuke, if I'm being honest, just for the OGs out there. But yeah, honestly, let's just get right into it and see what they came up with.
Ichigo Kurosaki versus
I guess let me turn on the subtitles. I always forget to do that.
Yusuke Urameshi.
The substitute Shinigami of Bleach versus the spirit detective of Yu Yu Hakusho. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tell me, Boomstick, what happens when we die?
Endless
Okay,
nothingness?
starting it off kind of heavy.
Man, I don't know. We just started.
Our souls are ferried by Shinigami, gods of death, in an eternal cycle of death and rebirth.
That was my second guess.
And when a soul goes astray, warped by evil and regret, it's a Shinigami's job to purify such violent hollows and send them off to the realm of the dead, the Soul Society.
Works great, dude.
Okay, but real talk. For any of those who have watched Bleach, yeah, honestly, Soul Society doesn't look all that good for people who get their souls transferred there. You just end up in some random district, and you just have to live life again for eternity. I don't know.
It doesn't. Enter Ichigo Kurosaki, whose tragic anime backstory came way too early when his mom was killed by a hollow. Reason number one why you should never want your kid to be the anime protagonist.
Left with his grief, young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how,
Yeah.
beating people up.
But this wound began to heal when he found his calling, upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia. To stop a powerful hollow, she gave Ichigo her powers, rousing unseen potential within.
Boom! Just like that, Ichigo's a Shinigami.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called Reishi. He can wield vast amounts of spiritual energy, called Ryoku, and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure, or Reiatsu.
Okay, that's a lot of big words, but all it really means is he's a super.
Is this the background music from the Waco Mundo arc?
His spirit aura is so strong, he can stun lock foes, crushing them under
I don't know
his
why
own
I'm so
power,
focused with the music.
even fatally.
He controls spirit matter in and around him, hardening his skin for defense.
Hold on, I'm just kind of reading the stats they have here. Immense Ryoku, Shinigami skills. Okay, sure. Yeah, they got the Quincy powers at the bottom.
In the air. Paired with speed-boosting skills like Shunpo, he can virtually fly.
Say goodbye to the kid who beat up bullies for their lunch money, and hello to the town's new superhero, with fellow Ghostbusters, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu.
Calling them Ghostbusters is a pretty not wrong.
A new hole.
While balancing responsibilities at school, of course. GPA comes first, and maybe a round or two of tech.
But it wouldn't be possible without his Shinigami blade, a Zanpakuto. It's basically a super-powered spirit that's physically a sword. Ghost Sword!
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is composed of two distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Just call him Old Man Zangetsu and Hollow Zangetsu. Anyway, the double Ghost Sword gives Ichigo lots of new moves, including his trademark attack, the Sword Beam to end all sword beams, Getsuga Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful, and so effective that Ichigo developed multiple variants. He can fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack to act as a barrier, and combine two at once into the even stronger Getsuga Jujisho.
To cut even the biggest hollows down to size, Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from frame 1.
He can make giant shockwaves and parry spiritual light beams from a Menos Grande. And these aren't fake, slower-than-light lasers. Guidebooks confirm they're real light, and the novels say so too.
Plus, early on, Uryu moved so fast that he left his own shadow behind.
But as Ichigo became more involved with the Soul Society, he quickly found that he wasn't good enough.
This Byakuya guy's so fast, Ichigo can't even see him. Time for a good old-fashioned training arc. Hit the music!
Until now, Zangetsu had operated only in its base state, Shikai. So Ichigo learned to release its inner power, a 10 times boost that takes most Shinigami a decade to master.
Bankai! In Bankai, his speed skyrocketed, letting him turn the tables on douchebags.
Ichigo does have one of the coolest Bankais, I'll say that.
He blocked an attack that could destroy the whole friggin' Soul Society.
Because Ichigo's greatest gift is his potential to improve. Despite only being a teenager, he mastered swordsmanship well enough to
half
thrash
hollow,
experts who have
true
been training for
Bankai.
centuries. He can quickly adapt to new weapons and
See, that's the thing with Ichigo. Like, as much as I'm rooting for Yusuke, I feel like Ichigo just has too much in his back pocket. Like, I mean, all right. I mean, if you're watching this, you know what happens. I'm not gonna be worried about spoiling anything here. But yeah, Ichigo is just everything under the sun. He's a Soul Reaper. He's a Quincy. What's the other one he was? I can't remember whatever that last arc was with it's gonna bother me that I can't remember it right now. Do they have it on here? Fullbringer, that's what it was. Yeah, no, that Ichigo literally is just like, yep, I'm just everything, deal with it.
styles mid-fight, surpassing his limits time and time again.
Like when he took on Catboy Grimjow. He was getting clapped, but
Catboy
as soon as he heard
Grimjow,
Orihime
okay.
cheering him on, that was all he needed.
Pretty
to
sure he was a
smash that
Panther.
kitty.
You mean Grimjow, right?
Yeah, but even with that main character energy, Ichigo couldn't match Big Bad Aizen. With just a finger, Aizen stopped Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song.
And the theme song, yes, I'm glad they mentioned that. That's still to this day one of the coldest moments in anime. The guy stopped Ichigo's theme song. Like,
Rude.
Ichigo
that's when you
needed to
know
tap
you
into
just
his
messed up.
unexplained hollow power. Except Hollow Zangetsu wasn't going to make it easy.
Old man Zang's pretty chill, but this guy's a menace.
Still, Ichigo needed his help and conjured a hollow mask to expand his power. But this meant the hollow within only grew stronger.
Masked up, he can fire lasers, bypass super senses, and heal lost limbs. But piss him off enough, and he'll go full hollow. And you really don't want that.
Hollowification exceeds even Bankai, and was enough to crush Ukiura in a battle that shook all of Hueco Mundo, the world of hollows.
Full hollow Ichigo could even tear through all 3 layers of hell.
But with help from his secret Shinigami father, Ichigo continued to train for months in the Dangai, a corridor between dimensions, until he was finally ready.
Yep, but it was all part of Aizen's
Aizen.
plan.
Challenge
Just saying.
is an understatement. He manhandled Aizen, shattered mountains with sheer aura, and flexed so hard he smashed out of the black coffin, which crushes space like a mini black hole.
And yet, it still wasn't enough. So by becoming Getsuga itself, Ichigo unleashed his ultimate attack, Mugetsu, defeating Aizen at the cost of all his power.
He might have saved everyone, but now it was back to Normieville.
Ichigo never truly realized until then just how much being a Shinigami meant to him. The power to protect others, his drive, his pride in himself was gone. He would give anything to
Oh
get it
no,
back.
I was super
And
powerful and
he
now I'm
did,
not.
Thanks to a surprise assist.
Yeah,
from
I don't think there's
Rukia.
too many people that would be
Boom,
okay with
Shinigami
losing all their
again.
powers.
Just in time for a 1,000-year blood war with a final endgame boss, Yuhabak.
Who planned to end everything. And while other Shinigami tried their best, only Ichigo was special enough to pull it off.
His father was a Shinigami. His mother was a member of the ancient Quincy's and possessed by a hollow. Hence, his 2 Zanpakuto spirits, one Quincy, the other Hollow and Shinigami, made Ichigo a perfect union.
Oh, that's
to
right. Did I
break
forget to
Yuhabak's
mention
plan.
Hollow earlier when I was
Finally,
listing
Ichigo
off everything that
understood
Ichigo
himself,
is?
fully unifying with both Zanpakuto spirits within. With that came a new Shikai and 2 new Zanpakuto.
True Shikai! If you thought Ichigo was strong before,
By
oh
Stitching
boy,
the hell
he's
block
the
the world's the
strongest
strongest.
Shinigami
Okay.
alive. They're dead. Undead? Yeah.
Stronger than Kanpachi, who could split the Dangai in half. Stronger than Senjumaru, who shook heaven and earth across the realms. And strong enough to match Yuhabak, even after he absorbed the Soul King.
Juiced up with Soul King power, Yuhabak could nuke all 3 realms. The human world, Soul Society, and Hueco Mundo, plus the Dangai and Garganta in between, which have a bunch of pocket dimensions sprinkled in. Hell, Just the Soul King's corpse sent a shockwave across all the realms.
And it's not a matter of disrupting the flow of souls. Yhwach was going to end everything through sheer power alone.
But Ichigo still wasn't done powering up.
Entering a new half-hollow form and merging his Getsuga Tencho with a mighty hollow attack, the Gran Ray Sero.
Making a giant crescent slash that rips through space itself.
All that power culminating in his true Bankai.
Yeah, they really
A
gave this
power
guy
so
just
great,
every power
even
imaginable.
Yhwach was scared of it.
Joke's on you! Ichigo didn't even need it! You're done!
Ichigo was finally content. And 10 years later, he remains a Shinigami, having found the courage to stand on the edge of life and death, conquer his fears, and walk onward.
All right, now let's get Yusuke out here.
No idea what they want to do with their life. However, that was hardly a problem for juvenile delinquent Yusuke Urameshi, because he only ever wanted to do one thing.
Throw hands! It don't matter who the ops are.
All right, let's see here. Trained by Genkai, Spirit Detective, the original Shonen Trash Talker. Yes, absolutely yes.
Be they women, old folk, or babies, Yusuke lived to fight. It's what gave life meaning. Who cares about stupid things like friends and family?
Which is why it was so surprising when one day he threw himself in front of a speeding car to save a child, bringing that reckless life to a screeching halt.
Okay, hold on. I don't know if they're gonna mention it here, and I don't know where. I might be remembering this incorrectly, but didn't they tell Yusuke that like the car would have swerved out of the way anyway, and the kid would have ended up with like one less scratch or something like that? That like essentially he sacrificed himself for nothing. I want to say I might be remembering incorrectly.
This is chapter 1 of a battle shonen, so death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly, though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
Botan.
This was Botan, whose job was to ferry Yusuke's newly deceased spirit off to the afterlife.
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and didn't have any space prepared for him. Imagine being such a menace to society that the second you do something nice, hell itself gets caught with his pants down.
So the underworld surrogate king, Koenma, offered Yusuke an alternative. He could return to life as an agent of the afterlife, a spirit detective, solving supernatural crimes and fighting off demonic threats to humanity.
Naturally, Yusuke did what anyone would do in that situation and told Satan Jr. to stuff it. I mean, he was never really good for anything and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point?
Did he at first? I don't actually remember that
sad,
now.
Or his childhood sweetheart Keiko would be heartbroken, or even his rival Kuwabara would shed manly tears. Oh man.
Okay, I do remember that. I remember Kuwabara showing up to the funeral, still wanting to fight him.
At the sight of loved ones who cared far more than he ever expected, Yusuke had a change of heart and accepted Koenma's offer, returning to life with a new purpose and a new job.
And newfound ass-kicking ability. In his quest to beat the dog shit out of demon kind, Yusuke learned to harness Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong, fast, and durable, heals from wounds quickly, and can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky. And with the help of legendary warrior Genkai, he mastered a signature move that could blast anyone to smithereens.
My favorite shonen move ever, the Spirit Gun.
Yep.
At first, Yusuke had a limited number of shots, but eventually he turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than any weapon on Earth, he could go finger blasting around as much as.
Okay, so the spirit gun was definitely cool, but the Dragon of the Darkness Flame, I think, still kind of takes the cake for the coolest ability in the show.
He wants.
The spirit gun is more versatile than it appears. Yusuke can bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks, propel himself around like a rocket in flight, and produce massive explosions with each shot.
He can twist it up for a spirit shotgun, a mighty AoE blast, or a spirit punch, where he keeps the energy stored in his fists and clobbers the hell out of you. And the spirit wave, a Kamehameha from before we uncultured Americans knew what a Kamehameha was.
Yusuke may be a punk, but he's deceptively skilled and cunning in battle.
He's not afraid to fight dirty. Ruin his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his foe to track them in the dark.
Personally, I'd call that smart. And his hand-to-hand is A+. He's matched experts like Cabano, who's said to have mastered all forms of martial combat.
But his best secret is how quickly he improves. All it takes is a round of training or someone threatening his friends, and Yusuke's power will spike to match stronger enemies, even if it means literally burning through his own life force for a power-up.
All known demons and demon fighters are individually ranked on a scale of power from E to S.
E and D class demons are nothing special. We're talking local threats at best. C and B are getting a bit dicey in a destroy your city kind of way. A and S? Well, hold on to your ass. We're talking end of the world.
Yeah,
Yusuke
wasn't
forged
Toguro
bonds
just
with
like
new
high
allies
B?
like demons Hiei and Kurama.
I don't remember
as well
anymore.
As his old pal Kuwabara, he found himself facing opponents he couldn't beat, such as the monstrous Toguro, who could vaporize weaker demons and crush their souls with sheer aura.
But Yusuke needed to survive and protect his loved ones, so he had no choice but to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai!
Our sun has an average luminosity of 380 septillion watts, or joules per second. Small stars like red dwarfs output about 1/10,000th of that. So this spirit orb's energy per second would equal about 9 million megatons of TNT.
Enough to send Toguro to the grave.
Even after pushing past his own limits, Yusuke would still need more power to face S-class threats like Sensui, a past spirit detective gone bad, and a great measuring stick for what top-tier demons are capable of.
Sensui was so yoked he couldn't even use all his power in the human world without threatening to bring down the whole thing.
Yeah, but he was pretty cool,
destroying
though.
the whole goddamn planet to kicking an anthill.
According to Genkai, Yusuke could destroy the planet too, if he really wanted. And even A-class threats like King Enma have shaken both the demon and human worlds.
That Enema guy is strong as balls. In the past, he fought the Netherworld King Yakumo, who
Okay, I haven't seen this movie. I'm pretty sure that Yakumo guy is from one of the movies, and I've yet
could
to see
eradicate
that.
the entire human world and remake the Netherworld.
But Yusuke's power surpassed both of them to the point where he overloaded.
I'll be honest,
Yakumo
I
with his
didn't think
own
Yusuke
energy.
was on the
And
planet
keep in
destroying
mind,
level,
Yusuke was
if I'm
still
being
only
honest.
A-class at the time, a far cry from S-classes like Sensui, whose sacred energy was 10 times his superior.
But not for long, sucker, because turns out Yusuke was a demon himself.
Literally. Yusuke is the descendant of an ancient and incredibly powerful being, one of the strongest in existence, Raizen, the Demon King.
With his Bazoku mark, Yusuke can channel Raizen's spirit for a huge power boost and a massive thirst for murder boost. This was his first taste of a dangerous new type of spirit energy, Yoki.
A form of energy used by demons. Like normal Reiki, it can be amplified by intense emotions. Unlike normal Reiki, its use creates a pleasurable feeling, feeding into the user's rage and bloodlust.
Yeah, I really don't remember too much of
Yusuke
the
upgraded
last
his spirit
season.
gun
I've
to
watched
a
it like
demon
once,
gun.
but
It's the same
yeah,
thing,
I really
but
don't
red.
recall too
it's
much
strong enough
about
to
it.
blast Since we passed the horizon, putting Yusuke's power firmly in S-class.
And making him a prime candidate to rule the demon world. But as he was thrust into a tournament vying for that throne, Yusuke began to wonder if all this power was what he really wanted.
Self-reflection? From I'll kick your ass, Yusuke Urameshi? Nah, we can worry about that later. There's a tournament to win. Which one of you, girl, baby, or grandparents is first?
Even then, as Yusuke took on the Demon King Yomi in an epic final battle, he was still growing. He had become far stronger than before, even achieving a unique version of the Mozoku form separate from Raizen's influence.
And a brand spanking new form of power. Kinda like Sensui's secret energy, but even better. It's
Yeah,
so
I vaguely
unprecedented,
remember
it
this
doesn't even have
last
a
like
name,
arc
but it's
here.
Golden glowy.
Strong enough to clash with Yomi, creating an explosion that split the heavens above and
Didn't
decimated
neither of those
Yokunin's
become the
below,
Demon King?
pushing the Demon King himself to his absolute limits.
But then, Yusuke lost. It's not all bad though. Even if being king would have been cool, Yusuke realized he wanted something more. He'd grown up and chose to walk a new path.
It was always Yusuke's connections with others that motivated him above all else. And it was in those connections that he found his happy ending.
But I wouldn't piss him off if you can avoid it. Get him in the right mood or threaten the human world, and the spirit detective will beat your stupid ass.
Long has its return been foretold, but now, finally, it is reborn.
The original Death Battle shirt that once dominated the world. Hell yeah, there's no better way to
Okay,
wear a
that's
wolf
actually
banner
kinda
on your
cool.
chest.
We've restored the original shirt with even better materials, and it's available now on deathbattle.gg. That's our website that's also kind of like a Patreon.
There's a bunch of other merch there, like this awesome Mecha Goose hoodie. Just don't let the gooses get it.
Website members
Mecha
can also
Goose,
see
okay.
the entire Death Battle archive.
Don't know that
including
reference,
episodes
but
that
sure.
were banned from YouTube.
And even more behind the
Oh,
scenes
that's
goodies.
cool.
Like, did you know our research team wrote up a massive blog all about the science of Ash versus Yugi? Wait, I lied. They wrote up 2!
Click the link below to support the show, look behind the scenes, and get cool merch at deathbattle.gg.
All right, before they start, I'm hoping Yusuke takes it. I don't think he's going to.
All right,
That's
the
me being
commands are
honest.
set, and we've run the data through
Me
all
being completely
possibilities.
honest.
It's time for a death battle!
Bleach definitely had the better openings, though.
That's a demon. That's hollow.
I 100% believe that's all it would take for these two to fight. I like the pixel animation for this one. That's kind of cool. Oh, that's dirty. Nah, you. That's dirty even for you. Oh, okay, random Menos Grande showing up out of nowhere.
Chump change. Reckless idiot! What a baby! Little demon energy got you scared.
Okay.
Getsuga! Yujisho! 2 at once? Damn, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, Yusuke, why didn't you ever think of that?
Get into me, Yusuke. Let's devour him together.
Hell no! This is my fight, jackass! You just hold me back!
Come on, Yusuke, just keep fighting dirty. You got this.
One's a piece of work. Need a hand, partner?
Let's do it. Like old times.
On! Cut! Tensa! Kongetsu!
Is that the best you can do? I can go even faster if you'd like. Hell yeah! Bring it on, asshole! I'll kill you even if it kills me! I'm putting it all on the line!
Oh.
Same!
Yeah, no, Ichigo without his Bankai, without his sword, he's done for.
Screw that! Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
The other side.
Disappointed, but
You,
kind of expected.
Think the afterlife offers frequent flyer miles?
There's a lot to cover here, so let's break this down into 4 chapters, starting with their abilities.
Yusuke could see Ichigo no problem, and resist auras like Toguro's that are similar to Reiatsu, so Ichigo couldn't cheese a win right away.
Otherwise, Yusuke was outmatched. Sure, the Spirit Gun could potentially match the Getsuga Tensho, and he had stat-boosting forms like the Mizoku. Ichigo, however, had more varied powers, a better healing factor, greater stamina given his months of Dangai training,
And all those swords! He just had way more abilities to play with.
likewise, speed was a fairly easy call. Yusuke could react to lightning early on and obviously got much faster over time. Looking at this blast from his clash with Yomi, it erupted upwards at 57% the speed of light.
But Ichigo was faster than light from the start, and he's gotten faster too. He couldn't even see Byakuya at first, but blitzed him in the rematch. Plus, he's got tons of training and power-ups since then.
The Soul King Shockwave, for example, expanded across the realms at thousands of times light speed, and Ichigo reacted to attacks from Soul King Yuhabak that utilized the same power. So, Ichigo takes speed. But Yusuke's fought plenty of foes faster and more varied than him, so it's extremely important to examine their tactics and ability to adapt mid-fight.
This is kind of both their things. Ichigo has styled on guys with centuries of training and has over a decade of experience as a Shinigami. He's pretty good at figuring out new weapons and styles.
Meanwhile, Yusuke was flexible and quick to adapt, mixing cleverness with exceptional hand-to-hand. He's good enough to match Kabano, who mastered every martial
I don't know why they keep
art.
bringing this guy up. This guy was like season
But it's
1
not his go-to in the same way.
Yu Yu
So,
Hakusho.
both had their strong suits, with advantages on each side. It's fair to call this one a draw.
Leaving only the biggest winning factor, which could have superseded all other advantages: power.
Between Sensui, Genkai, and Enma, Yusuke could definitely destroy the planet. Examining his sky-splitting clash with Yomi and measuring its scale, that's about 4 quadrillion megatons of TNT, which is crazy.
Similarly, mid-series Ichigo could shake Huecomundo, tear through hell, and block attacks that could destroy the Soul Society. But at his peak, he beat Yuhabak, who could destroy several realms, which is far more impressive than just one.
To be fair, Yusuke also beat Yakumo, who could threaten 2 realms at the same time, pretty close to Yuhabak's threatening 3.
And Yusuke far surpassed Yakumo afterward. The gap between him and Sensui alone was 10 times. So there could be an argument for Yusuke's power surpassing Ichigo if 3 realms was truly Ichigo's limit.
Fortunately for Ichigo, it's not. Yuhabak was also gonna destroy the Garganta, which has at least 29 pocket dimensions inside it.
Each containing at least a planet and a star, much larger than Yusuke's planet-sized worlds. Plus, Ichigo matched Yuhabak in True Shikai, without his additional boost from Half Hollow and True Bankai.
As always with Death Battle, there's arguments either way. But the way we see it, even being generous with Yusuke's power and conservative with Ichigo's, the gap was just too big, giving Ichigo the final edge.
Man, Ichigo completely
things
swept
got
this.
messy, but that's just how Ichigo's.
The winner is Ichigo Kurosaki.
Next
Okay,
time
let's see who's
on
going on
Death
next
Battle.
time. Okay, Megasonic and Cell.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
I am completely unfamiliar with Megasonic, so I'm not gonna comment on that. But yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that really wanted Yusuke to somehow be able to pull a W there, but even I know that like Ichigo's just too busted in like his own world. Like again, like they literally made him everything. He's a Soul Reaper, a Hollow, a Quincy, a Fullbringer. Like what power up didn't they give Ichigo? So I get it. I'm not happy with it. I guess that's what it just boils down to. But cool episode. I'll give it to Death Battle on that one. Cell versus Metal Sonic. I don't know how I feel about that. Like I said, I don't know Metal Sonic's game. I know there's some crazy stuff with Sonic. I wouldn't put them on the DBZ level, but that's just because I'm just gonna say I'm ignorant on the topic. So I'll leave it at that. We'll see what they cook with that one. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.